Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day. Yeah, I'm currently trying out a whole new setup here, so if I look a little bit queer, it's not because I'm gay. Sorry, if I
I
look a
mean,
little bit,
it could be.
there's always a possibility. David, what's up? How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up?
Good. You seem to be talking to us from a different place. What is happening here?
Oh, me and well, my brother was locked up for years, so he didn't get to see my grandmother for a long time. So she's well advanced in years. So he was looking for a time when he could get off work. So anyway, he did this weekend. So we drove a long way to see my grandmother. So that's what we're doing this weekend.
Loud. That's good. It's very
Mhm.
nice. It's very nice stuff to do, man. It's very good stuff to do. Yeah. Somebody says AP. Where was that? Where was that? Are you enjoying a new PC? Jeffrey says AP. Do you like the new PC? I do. It's a beast. It's a monster. It is an absolutely scary monster. The thing is, there were times that I was more excited and more experimenting when I had new equipment, a new computer. I don't know what it is. Like maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe life is just getting kind of different and weird. Like I haven't spent remotely as much time as I would normally spend sitting and exploring and experimenting with the new computer and all that. So
Got a lot of memory with that thing. Got a lot of RAM. Got a lot of
bigly,
lot of storage. Got a lot of storage with that thing.
bigly, yes, I do.
Not going to jam up. Not going to jam up. If you
No, it's
not going to jam up with big video files.
nope. It's bigly. It's very bigly, very bigly. But speaking of that, maybe I should probably download those videos that I want to watch today.
So that thing with all that storage, you think you'd like have a ton of space for PDF files on that thing? Because we do cover a lot of Islamic videos, man. You need maximum storage space for all those PDF files.
That is true. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I am getting a bunch of PDF files. That's what we deal with all the time. So I am putting a bunch of PDF files on here on my storage. Very problematic stuff, but that's just what we deal with here. That's what we do. Anyway, David, have you heard of this guy named Adnan Rashid?
Yeah, I debated him twice back in the day.
You did?
Yep. That's way back in the day. You're talking like, I don't even know the year, but like 2006, 2007-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Nabil slapped that dude once.
What do you mean slapped? Like literally slapped?
He slapped him in his hand. We were there, and Adnan Rashid tried to pull the Bible out of a Christian woman's hand. He was saying, "Give me your Bible. I'm going to show them something." And she goes, "Yeah, get your own Bible." And he goes, "Give it to me." And he goes to reach it, and Nabil slapped the crap out of his hand and puts his finger right in his face and says, "Don't touch her."
Wow.
And the woman sitting there, I've told you, I've shared this before, but the woman that goes, no. Adnan goes, "What are you doing? You're pacifist." And the woman's there going, "I don't think they're pacifist." And because anyway, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it's because Jay Smith is from a group that's actually like pacifistic. You could kill all those dudes; they wouldn't fight back. So the Muslims there at Speaker's Corner, since Jay and his group are like the main Christians there for many years, they thought Christians are all pacifists and they would never. And then the guy tries to grab a Bible from a Christian woman and gets a crap slapped out of him.
See, this is the proof that Christianity is violent. You see? Christianity is violent. Why else would he slap somebody?
You see?
So Adnan Rashid, there's a video going around in which Adnan Rashid with Sketch Therapy says, "I was joking, most of my chats are cause I want you to laugh." Based. Okay, good. Well, Carolina Rio says, "OMG, I want to marry these guys." Both?
Adnan Rashid?
Adnan Rashid. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you want to marry Adnan Rashid? I don't think he's available, but he might be looking for. I don't know how many wives he has. Sketch therapy. AP is late. Dihya Al-Kabi got him rejected. Gabriel, powerful. John Lennon. What are Islamic breast implants made out of? C4. Yes. Apostate of Allah. What's up, Apostate of Allah? What's up? How you doing? What's up, big dogs? I saw AP finally get a new computer. Freaking finally. This is true. David pushed me forever to get one, and finally I got it. So that's
did your monitor ever come?
Yes, it just arrived today, and it's kind of ginormous here. I have struggled dealing with that. So that's that. So Adnan Rashid had a few words to say. About taking over the Western world.
Oh, I have to say, a lot of Muslims lately have had a lot to say. They finally realize it literally does not matter what we say. The West is just going to keep saying, "Oh, Islam is great, Islam is wonderful," and we can be saying, "No, you're filthy, you're disgusting, you're dogs, and we're going to subjugate you, and you're all stupid enough to fall for it." And Western leaders will go, "Oh, great point. Islam is a religion of peace." Yes.
Anthony Shadas, congrats on your new computer. Thank you. Appreciate it. Zelensky was right. Please don't poison this conversation with talks about Ukraine and Putin. I don't want all the cultists to start crying. So I don't want to comment on that here. If you want to do this, we can make a whole live stream in which we can comment on this, so that we can have all the cultists crying and running around. Not here.
All the Putin fans will be crying when we say that Putin is a loser.
You see. Anyway, let's look at this. Let's look at this beautiful face here.
Muslims living in Britain and Muslims living in Canada, Muslims living in Australia, Muslims living in the Muslim lands. Where is your vision for the next 50 years? We can have a global vision and we can have a local vision. I believe we should have at least 3 prime ministers in the next 50 years, right? In Britain and in Canada. This is the...
In Britain and in Canada. At least 3 prime ministers in Britain and in Canada. He also mentioned Australia along the way. So he didn't mention US, as Storm D points out here. Probably because in the US there is not much of a big Muslim influence. Or
And we don't even have prime ministers here. We have a king.
That's true. We have a dictator, and this is how we do things over here. We have a dictatorship system. If you want to have if you want to propose a Muslim dictator, we're not going to do that. Sorry.
Yeah, and you don't even have the correct lineage.
That's true.
Right? Kings. You know, you got a king, and then you got his son becomes the next king, and then his little son. You got this like Russian nesting doll situation, and so it's not going to work.
Speaking of kings and dictators, don't you think it's time to slowly move toward a better system? Because democracy kind of seems like a failure, given how these guys quickly try to take it over. Maybe we should just abolish it all and go back to having absolute monarchies or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, the founding fathers of the U.S. gave all sorts of warnings about, hey, if you get the wrong kind of population, this will not work. It will not work. This will fail. This entire system will fail. This is made for a certain kind of people. If you do not have that kind of people, this system is going to break down. And their reasoning would apply to various democracies. And so, yep.
That is bigly true.
So we need a dictator.
We do.
We need a good old-fashioned dictator.
We do, inshallah. look at his beautiful face.
Wow, look at this.
Going towards in Britain and in Canada. This is the solution. This is going towards a positive revival of the Muslim Ummah.
I want to see
a positive revival of the Muslim Ummah.
We want our caliphate back, and we have our caliphate that you took from us because you beat us because we were so weak.
Now these 2 clowns have something to add here. Let's see.
The Muslim Ummah.
I want to see the whole world led by a just Khalifa. And there's no...
Did he say led by Mia Khalifa?
Yeah, he wants the whole world led by Mia Khalifa, which is just very... And he says there's no shame in saying that. Really? There's no shame in saying that?
Seriously, dude? Seriously.
That's a little bit. That's
So
a little bit.
their
perversion,
ultimate
Iran.
heroes are Andrew Tate, a pornographer, and Mia Khalifa, a porn star. Great guys. Doing an awesome job, Uma.
What an embarrassing thing to say. And he really said there is no shame in saying that. I have some shame, man.
Yeah, have some shame. But
What's
she
wrong?
has she has big zaboobas. This proves she is very holy and righteous in Islam, and she should lead the Ummah with her big zaboobas.
This is true. Mia Khalifa is their queen. Speaking of monarchies and all that, maybe they could start there. They could start with her. Yeah. So this is what he says, what Adnan Rashid says about Muslims taking over, and just want everyone to remember what his precise thoughts are. His precise thoughts are, in this case, that that this is a long-term vision, that Muslims should be taking over by installing prime ministers in countries where they have the means to do that, where they have the means to install their own leaders. So they are supposed to take advantage of democracies and then install their own leaders and have Muslims in charge. This is the funny thing. Like this is literally Islamization. There was a decade ago or so, or I don't know, maybe a decade ago, if you said in European countries that there is an Islamization ongoing, you were just called a crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yep, you were called an Islamophobe, a bigot, a racist, and the only possible reason for you to say that, hey, there are people here who actually want to take over your country and so on. The only possible basis for saying that was you're just racist against brown people. Not because you're reading the Muslim sources and seeing that Islam calls for the violent subjugation of the entire world. Couldn't possibly be because of that. You just have a problem with brown people.
And that's most likely true. Most likely true. Otherwise, why would you point out that there is an Islamization going on? However, now we have Muslims like this guy openly sharing the plan with us. I mean, he's not even saying it would be good. He's not saying this is what should be happening. He's not saying in an ideal future or anything like that. He says this is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
This is a vision for the future.
And by the way, I mean, keep in mind, it didn't come out of nowhere, right? They tested the waters for years. So they had terrorist attacks for years. And the more terrorist attacks they launched, the more politicians and journalists defended them and propped them up and said how great their religion was. And then you eventually get to the point where you Ali Dawa tests the waters and says, yeah, when we take over, we're gonna kill these apostates, yeah, and we're gonna chop their heads off, and we're all gonna be watching and eating popcorn, yeah, in there, and we're proud of that.
Right.
And then you'd think, oh, now the cat's out of the bag. Now people are gonna have a problem with Islam. I mean, they are talking about chopping the heads off of tons of people because of their religious beliefs. But obviously, this is going to be a problem. Wrong. They defend Islam even more. And so they've just realized it does not matter what we do. We can blow them up daily. We can go on stabbing sprees daily. We can announce our plans daily. We can talk about all the people we're going to kill and slaughter daily. We can do this. They will not, under any circumstances, take a stand against it because they've been programmed that the only way anyone would object to any of this is because of racism and Islamophobia. And so now they can shout it from the rooftops.
Shout it from the rooftops. We're gonna take over the world. What a beautiful, beautiful religion. And here you have the royal family's input here. What a joke, man.
How do you like your royal overlords, people of Great Britain?
The United Kingdom, the head of the United Kingdom.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize the king would be so fast. You are. I can see them. I know. Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so I never realized this is a speedy couple.
So here you have the royal family saying packing dates at Darjeeling Express. Traditionally, dates are eaten as the first food to break the fast at sunset during Ramadan. Their majesties helped pack dates that would be sent to local hospitals for iftar during the holy month. Now, I'm not really in line with much of the whole, very traditionalist, monarchist, super British patriotic way of thinking. But if I had a significant population of a certain religious background, and this population of a certain religious background repeatedly carried out terrorist attacks, and their thought leaders in my country, in this country, openly said that they want to take over and openly said that they want to push for it, I would expect of my king to be an old school king and to pick up the sword and say, "All right, it's time for you guys to leave." I wouldn't expect him to be a little servant to those people.
Wait, so when you have these guys gang draping endless arrays of young British girls, you're talking hundreds of thousands, when you have the endless terrorist attacks, when you have all these just random stabbings and so on around Great Britain, and when you have the leaders of the community announcing that they want to subjugate people, announcing that they want to take over, announcing that they want a Muslim ruler, announcing that they're going to kill apostates and so on. In that situation, you wouldn't expect the king to grovel before them and say, look, everyone, I'm with it all the way, 100%. Yes. Let's pack dates for our overlords, our soon-to-be overlords. Can you imagine that? You're a king. You're a king, and you're saying, hey, look at me packing dates for the people who want to subjugate me.
Can I kiss your feet? Can I rub you? Can I love you? They want to take over, but our king, he serves them. Our king doesn't serve us.
Can you imagine them? Look at this. Can you imagine Muslims looking at this? Look at this idiot, man. Like we are building a system where he is going to serve us, and he's doing it willingly. Like we are going to subjugate all of these guys. We're going to subjugate them, and they're going to be doing whatever we say. And we haven't even subjugated them yet. And this guy's packing our dates for us.
Man, it's insane. And it gets even worse. It gets much worse. So I briefly want to address one thing here, which is as somebody who has expressed some interest in Catholicism recently, I came across the video of this guy here, Cardinal Dolan, who is, as far as I understand, currently the cardinal.
He's like New York, isn't he?
In charge of Archbishop of New York. He's the Archbishop of New York.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time.
So he's not just some random bro. He's the Archbishop of New York. That's what he is. And he had the following words to say about Ramadan. So it says, Ramadan starts tomorrow. Ramadan is the season of penance.
What? Wait, what? Penance? What?
For our Islamic brothers and sisters, do they ever take it seriously? I tell you that because Ash Wednesday is coming up. That's kind of like our Ramadan. Now let's look at the post here. Let's look at what he says.
Hi, everybody. It's Friday, the last day of February. Cardinal Dolan here. Thanks for joining.
Why does he sound like Alex Jones?
Ramadan starts. Ramadan is the season of penance for our Islamic brothers and sisters.
Why is he waving food in front of them? Is he taunting them? Maybe it's a subliminal thing. Yeah, technically, I've been told I have to praise your stuff, but ooh, looky what I got here.
Looky. Ramadan is not a month of penance. Ramadan is not a month. There is no month of penance. Ramadan is not about penance. It has nothing to do with penance. That's not what it is about.
Yeah. It's a month of gorging yourself with food and claiming to be fasting and demanding praise for your great act of pretending to fast. It's trans fasting. Say it, Cardinal. Then we would respect you. Ramadan is a month of trans fasting. It's feasting that identifies as fasting. That's what you say. And AP would be at your next church service. And you screwed it up.
I mean, here's the thing. I respect the priestly authority of this guy. I'm sure if I asked him about the Bible, if I asked him about worship, if I asked him about, I don't know, the Catholic, canons and the councils and whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that there is a lot that I could learn from this cardinal. There's probably a lot that I can learn from authorities like these, and I have nothing but respect for it. But then these same people who are supposed to be religious leaders, religious authorities, then come here and start arrogating and talking about these things that they don't seem to understand and don't seem to know much about. And honestly, if I was under this guy's authority, for example, and I was consulting this guy for his opinions, and then he starts talking about how Muslims are our brothers and sisters and they have their own month of penance called Ramadan and they take it very seriously and they suffer and so on, I would think, with my ex-Muslim background and with everything that I know, I obviously know more about Islam than he does. I would think, you have lost a lot of respect here. Why do you need to do this? Why can't you just stick to the things that you are supposed to teach, the things that you're supposed to lead people on, instead of coming here and, as said, arrogating and talking about this kind of stuff? Ramadan is not a month of penance. It is not. The only reason why Muslims fast on Ramadan is because they are told to fast on Ramadan. And further reason given is that it's supposed to bring you closer to Allah and make you practice things and teach obedience and so on. There is no aspect of penance about it at all. It's not even mentioned.
Yeah, the real reason for Ramadan, the real reason is that Islam just gives people a bunch of stupid, idiotic tasks to make them feel like they're doing a bunch of great, noble stuff, right?
Yeah.
Without actually having to do anything like seriously difficult. And it's all just, hey, here are things to do to make you feel like you're doing something very religious. And really, it's all just to prepare you for jihad eventually. We'll just give you all these things to do and you keep doing what you're told and we'll program you to do all these little things and then eventually we'll tell you to have to go out and fight and subjugate the kuffar and so on. And so it gives you this giant month of, hey, gorge yourself with food for an entire month. Again, ladies, if you're not familiar with this, if you're in the United States, you're familiar with Thanksgiving. Imagine eating a big Thanksgiving meal for breakfast. We eat an entire Thanksgiving meal for breakfast, and then you sleep all day, and then you wake up in the evening and you eat another giant Thanksgiving dinner, and then you hang out and eat all night, and you do that for 30 days straight. You gain a bunch of weight, and this is what they do, and they call it fasting. And when you point out, you actually show them study after study after study about how massively unhealthy this is, how people gain weight every single Ramadan from gorging themselves, and how they end up with massive problems, diabetes and so on from Ramadan. And when you say, guys, this is all dangerous, they go, no, look, here's an article on the health benefits of fasting. Yes, the health benefits of fasting, not of gorging yourself with food all month and calling it fasting. That's something different. Bunch of dopes, man.
Yeah, it's there's one thing which would be intermittent fasting, which you could do, which possibly has like good health benefits. But with Ramadan, that's not what you're doing. You're not focusing on intermittent fasting. You're you abstain from eating during the day, and then you gorge yourself, usually with brutally exaggerated food, with more food than
super
outside
sugary,
of the month of
super
Ramadan.
fatty stuff,
And it's not healthy, man. It's
No.
it's not good. It's
no.
ridiculous.
And here's the thing. It can be hard for certain people in certain areas if you're like in, some desert environment where it's 115 degrees and you still have to work during the day or something like this. But here's the thing. In those cases, it's extremely dangerous because people are having heat stroke and stuff like that. In areas where so basically in areas like that, then you actually have massive health problems and heat stroke and all kinds of things because they're doing this in the desert and they have to go to work. In areas that don't have that problem, they just reverse their day. They sleep during the day and they gorge themselves with food all night. And that's unhealthy too. They're complete. So whether you're in a situation where you have to do it and it's actually a struggle, okay, it's actually dangerous there because you have to work and it's 115 degrees out and you're not even taking a sip of water. or you're doing it like most people do, where you eat way more food than not, and you sleep during the day. So you just reverse your daily schedule. And then that's bad because you're getting massive health problems and gaining 40 pounds in a month.
Yeah. So furthermore, I want to quickly say something about Catholics and the cardinal here. As I said for the longest time now, and there's not much that changed about it. I have lots of respect for Catholicism, and this is not supposed to be like Catholicism or Catholic bashing at all.
And
But
yet it is.
something obviously went wrong somewhere, because you have a very important archbishop sitting here and spouting such garbage. Sorry, it's just garbage. It is absolute garbage. It is dimmy behavior, and why would he be doing this? It's so ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. And this is not a single case. This is not just one case of somebody saying something wrong. This happens repeatedly over and over again. I mean, over the last week, I kind of went down the rabbit hole of discovering how multiple popes and other authorities in Catholicism have repeatedly said these wildly weird things about Muslims and Islam, such as that Muslims are our brothers and sisters and they worship the same God, and may John the Baptist protect Islam, and so on. It's just, where the hell does this come from? It's like none of this was part of Catholicism. Until apparently, it seems, the Second Vatican Council, which also makes me understand why people have such a big problem with it. But where the hell does this come from, and how is this in any way acceptable? It's very ridiculous.
Yeah, that's why. Robert Spencer was a devout Catholic his entire life, and he eventually got to the point where he's like, he left the Catholic Church, became Orthodox, and he said, how can I continue? Like, these are the guys who attack him his entire life. Like, he's trying to warn Christians about what's coming and about what Islam is doing and has done, and all they do is tell him, shut up, get out of our church. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. You're not welcome here. And it's like, how am I supposed to believe that this is the true church guided by God, when they're not only are they hell-bent on helping Islam in every way, they blast anyone who says one word of truth about it, like one word. A few Catholics who are watching, oh, how dare you? No. First of all, I know a bunch of you Catholics agree. That's kind of the point. You need to keep pointing this out so that the leaders eventually realize, oh, okay, well, maybe we do have a problem here. Maybe we need to shut up about Islam.
I said it before. I have been practicing the rosary for a while now. This was my first attempt at getting back. Second attempt getting back to religious practices, and I love it and all that. Not at all meant to be like anti-Catholic stuff, but what the hell is happening?
Well, if you keep doing that long enough, you'll eventually start praising Islam and talking about how wonderful it is, and talking about isn't it weird though? It's like every other topic in the world. If you were some sort of Christian leader and you wanted to talk about that topic, you would understand either I really need to study it and learn about what I'm talking about so I speak correctly, or I need to say very little, if anything. I need to keep it extremely generic if I don't know what I'm talking about. For some reason, Islam is the only topic in the world where the less you know, you're somehow more of an expert. The less you know. I mean, think about it. If you were talking about math and you didn't know what 2 + 2 is, you should not be telling people about math. You need to keep your mouth shut about math. You don't know what you're talking about. Somehow on Islam, every politician, every journalist, not one of whom can quote anything from the Quran. None of them has read the Hadith. None of them knows anything about Muhammad. None of them knows anything about Islam. They don't know anything. And yet they'll talk about it all day, every day, about how great it is. And they don't know anything. They don't know anything they're talking about. Weird religion.
The only community note that somebody suggested here was just left here an hour ago. Historic Christianity teaches that Muslims are not brothers and sisters. There is no entrance into God's family other than through believing in Jesus Christ, the only Son of God and Savior. To be born again, claiming Muslims are brothers and sisters is heresy. This is kind of funny. So we only so far commented, mostly on the Ramadan part and the whole appeasing part. But so to hear this part here again.
For our Islamic brothers and sisters, Ramadan is the season of penance for our
Good to
Islamic
know. Good to know. Educating
They
Muslims.
never take it seriously. It's fasting and prayer. Now, I always
It's
remember,
gorging yourself with food and calling it fasting.
and it was kind of a high.
Muslim, our Islamic brothers and sisters, when did they become brothers and sisters? And do Muslims agree with that? Do Muslims agree with that? Or do Muslims believe that that they should be fighting and opposing Christians? It's it's very easy to find out. All you need to do is to look at the Quran itself, which says in chapter 9 verse 29, fight those who do not believe in Allah in the last day, nor comply with what Allah and his messenger have forbidden, nor embrace the religion of truth, that is Islam, from among those who were given the scripture, meaning Jews and Christians, until they pay the jizya, willingly submitting, fully humbled. So this is what Islam says about Christians. Islam says that Muslims have the responsibility to fight against the Jews and the Christians until they are humbled and they pay protection money. Jizya, that's what jizya is. It's protection money. It's not tax.
And
So
remember,
it's
couple
supposed
days-
to subjugate Christians.
yeah, a couple days ago, we went through Ibn Kathir's commentary on what it means for Christians and Jews to be humbled and subjugated and so on. We went through Ibn Kathir's commentary where he used the Pact of Umar and how Christians are supposed to be completely humiliated. And what do Christian leaders say? Yes, it's so wonderful. It's such a great thing.
Oh, this is such a lovely religion. Wow, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, I don't have so much of a problem with brothers and sisters as with not clarifying in what you could mean to defend that. Because, and I'll say this in sort of defense of the idea, you had Jews who accepted Jesus as the Messiah. You had Jews who rejected Jesus as the Messiah, and yet the Jews who accepted him, when they're talking to their fellow Jews, would say brothers and sisters. So these are people who rejected Jesus as the Messiah and were still called brothers and sisters. But you know what they mean. You mean you're our fellow Jews here. We're having a disagreement here. We're going to argue about this, but you are our brothers and sisters in this ethnic sense and in the sense of our background. So with that said, like calling someone from a Christian saying, "Hey, brother and sister," doesn't necessarily mean brother and sister in Christ. You could be talking about a physical brother and sister, like my actual biological brother and my actual biological sister, or something like that. If you wanted to use it in some other sense, you could, but you should kind of make that clear. Like I could say, "Hey, my brothers and sisters in humanity," or something like that. We're all human beings and so on. We all share that. But to just say, "Hey, and our brothers and sisters," it sounds like you're talking about a religious sense, like we're all servants of, we're all serving the one God here. And these are guys who want to subjugate you for your beliefs, Cardinal.
That's true. That's what they do. That's what they do. And so all you who have believed, do not take the Jews and Christians as allies. They are in fact allies of one another, and whoever is an ally to them among you, then indeed he is one of them. Indeed, Allah guards not the wrongdoing people. So that's what it says about what it tells Muslims about Jews and Christians. I find this verse very, very interesting and very important to point out, because there are some people who go around and try to make it look like there could be some unity among Christians and Muslims. There was a time where there was this whole thing where there could be unity among Jews and Muslims and so on. The Quran is very, very, very clear. The Quran itself, no matter who says what, the Quran itself very clearly says that Jews and Christians are allies of one another, and Muslims are forbidden from befriending them. And if the Muslims do take them as allies, then the Muslims are also one of them, which means that they are also wrongdoers.
Hold on.
That's what the Quran says.
Hold on. There is an exception.
Yes.
There is an exception, ladies and gentlemen. So look at what this is saying. And this will get variously translated. This verse gets variously translated as friends, allies, and so on. Because the Arabic is awliya, which includes all of those. In fact, some translations will put in brackets all the things this means: friends, allies, protectors, all kinds of things. There is an exception. Can you go to Surah 3, verse 28?
Quran 3:28. Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Let's check it out, isn't it? I said 28, not 22.
You said 20. You said 28, not 22. I don't even know numbers, man. I'm just English. I'm learning English.
Dude, learn English, man.
Okay.
28. Does that help?
Yes, that's right.
Check it out. Let not the believers take disbelievers as allies. Again, this is awliya, friends, protectors, allies, and so on. Supporters. Supporters are protectors here. Rather than believers. And whoever of you does that has nothing, i.e., no association with Allah, except when taking precaution against them in prudence.
LMJ.
Guys, in the Arabic here, it's except when practicing taqiyya.
OAMJ.
You are not to take Jews and Christians, non-Muslims, as your friends, as your allies, as your supporters, as any of that, unless you're doing it to deceive them because they're more powerful than you in some situation. And it wouldn't be in your interest for them to know that you consider them your enemies. If you're in a weaker position, they outnumber you, they're stronger than you, then you pretend to take them as allies. You pretend. You use them as useful idiots. That's what you do. So that's the exception.
Useful idiotism is based. Here was a super chat by Sir Jacob Prophet saying Catechism 871. Did you mean Catechism 841? Because so here is Catechism 871, which just says the Christian faithful are those who, inasmuch as they have been incorporated in Christ through baptism, have been constituted as the people of God. For this reason, since they have become sharers in Christ's priestly, prophetic, and royal office in their own manner, they are called to exercise the mission which God has entrusted to the church to fulfill in the world, in accord with the condition proper to each one. This is what 871 says. Did you mean 841? Because 841 is the one that is being brought up, that recently was brought up as very problematic. And so when I first went over it, I actually kind of seemingly downplayed it because
You did.
what
You
it
said
says
great
here,
difference, actually. It was in context.
so it says the church's relationship with the Muslims. The plan of salvation also includes those who acknowledge the Creator in the first place, amongst whom are the Muslims. These profess to hold the faith of Abraham, and together with us, they adore the one merciful God,
See, brothers and
mankind's
sisters.
judge on
There
the
are brothers
land.
and sisters in the faith of Abraham.
This is of course very problematic.
Well, you didn't keep reading where it explains it.
This is, of course, very, very problematic. And although I, trying to find an explanation for this, continued to 845, and then found that it says the following: to reunite all his children, scattered and led astray by sin, the Father willed to call the whole of humanity together into his Son's church. The church is the place where humanity must rediscover its unity and salvation. The church is the world reconciled. She is that bark which, in the full sail of the Lord's cross, by the breath of the Holy Spirit, navigates safely in this world. According to another image dear to the church fathers, she is prefigured by Noah's ark, which alone saves from the flood. So I do still understand from here that this is kind of puts the whole earlier 841 into question, and basically says that everyone still has to eventually accept Christ and become part of the church to attain salvation. However, 841 still describes them as people who are, foremost part of the planet, who together with us worship the one true God. And it's kind of weird to me. Muslims don't worship the same God.
Hey, potato, man. Potato.
So that's that. And David was like, no, how dare you say this about My Catholic Church. But again, no disrespect, but all of this is kind of problematic, you know.
Hot day, because Ramadan's not always in March. It moves around. So this must have been a heat.
Hey, he knows that at least.
And I had a bag of some water, and I was so thirsty. I took some water and I drank it.
From a
And I said
bag?
to the driver, would you like some water? And he said, you bet I'd like some water. I am very thirsty, but it's Ramadan, and I cannot take water till the sunset. That's how seriously they take their fasting and prayer. Now,
That's how seriously they want to brag about how much they're
Ash
fasting.
Wednesday's coming up. All right. Ash Wednesday is this coming Wednesday. And that's kind of our Catholic Ramadan. So let's unite with our Islamic brothers and sisters.
Hey,
Prayer and fasting.
hey, make a shirt. Make a shirt, Cardinal. Ash Wednesday, our Ramadan.
Yeah. I would say this is severely misguided.
That's my Ramadan. What's yours?
Severely misguided. And considering that my post has more likes than his post, that means mine is correct. So there you go. But hey, what is this, man? What the hell? David, is this you?
Is that me?
Is
Yeah,
this
that's where
you?
they invited me out to speak on economic jihad in the USA.
He kind of looks like a strangely problematic version of you.
That's back when I had a goatee.
I do want to listen to. So we listened to Adnan Rashid and his ambitions for a takeover of the West by Muslims, and of course we don't just want to leave it at, well, they want Muslim prime ministers, and that's bad. We also want to get into what that actually means, because Adnan Rashid believes it fully in the Sharia. Go ahead. What?
Haven't these guys been attacking each other recently?
Yes.
Well, when's this video from? They're all buddies like 2 years ago. Now they're all like at war.
Apparently they got together to talk to each other to sort it all out, and it resulted in a whole long conversation. People are still not happy about it. I checked the comment section, and it's
Hold on. Is this Daniel Hakikachu, one, the world's leading defender of child marriage and child rape, and two, a guy who's been called like the biggest liar on the planet by something like Jake Broncatella called him the biggest liar he's ever met or something like this. And then Fareed said he's the most compulsive liar on the planet except for Christian Prince. And people are like, well, what about David? What are the apostate prophets? He's like, yes, including them. Daniel Hakikich is a bigger liar. That's the guy?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to clarify and make sure. Well, guys, you're gonna see, if you see these guys together in a video, it's an old video. They're at war now.
No, this is actually a new video. Because,
Oh, it is? Oh,
It
they're
is,
buddies
it
again.
is,
That's
it is a
good.
new
That's good.
video. No, they came together, but they started fighting again apparently during the whole conversation.
God, so sad, man.
So they couldn't really sort it out. They were trying to understand each other, but they still kind of started attacking each other. And it's a bizarre conversation, but they do say really bad things, like they both affirm slavery, child marriage, and so on. Lots of these.
Hey, that's kind of funny. Okay, so we disagree on theology and Islamic practice and so on. Can we just start off this conversation by acknowledging how we all support banging kids? Yes, we do support that. You see, we all Muslims can agree that we have that common ground. We all us great Muslim scholars agree. We should all be banging kids, and it's good to do.
You see, what is this guy saying, man?
Sorry.
You talked about this here.
The kafir, those that leave the obedience of Allah and indulge in their desires, then Ibn al-Qayyim says they are worse than even animals. Leaves themselves in the disobedience of Allah is worse than a pig. And the pig's rijs, and he's filthy in the Quran. It's called rijs. When you see kufr, you can never accept it.
Never.
You can never sit on the stage with a mushrik saying, Ya Ali, and you're like, it's okay. We got political alliances to make.
Hey,
So-
perfect example. So this is, guys,
Next time you may not want to invite me. So.
yeah, guys, this is Sheikh Uthman. Think about what I just said earlier when I talked about Ramadan. Islam gives you all these little stupid practices and then uses those to convince you that you're somehow superior to everyone else. So you sit back, oh, I'm so great and everyone else is a loser. Think about who this is. This is Sheikh Uthman, a guy who faked a hate crime against himself. That was a guy a couple years ago, squirted fake blood on himself, obviously fake blood, squirted it on his shirt, and said, "Oh, the kuffar are stabbing me. They say they have to stab me to stop the powerful dawah I'm giving." And then, if he'd have just left it at that, it would have been hard to prove, because I mean, you can look at the blood and tell it's fake. But apart from that, it's hard to disprove the story. However, the Muslims were cheering for him so much that he kept embellishing the story, and then he changed it to, and the person was arrested, and the person went to court, and the person was convicted and sentenced, and that guy is in prison now. And eventually we all contacted the police and the prosecutors and everything. Turned out it was complete nonsense, totally made up. Did this hurt his credibility in the Ummah even slightly? No.
No.
No. Non-Muslims call him Sheikh Ibn Smollett because of that. They call him Sheikh Ibn Smollett because he pulled a Jussie Smollett. He faked a hate crime against himself to boost his reputation. Difference is people who found that out about Jussie Smollett had a problem with it. People who find that out about Sheikh Uthman, they do not care. The bigger of a liar you are, the more they love you in Islam. He didn't stop there because they programmed him. They programmed him to know that he can do whatever he wants and he will get away with it in the Ummah. As long as he keeps insulting the kuffar, you can do anything you want. His buddy, one of his dawah buddies, was having some marital troubles and said, "Hey, let me send my wife to Sheikh Uthman for counseling." He did, and Sheikh Uthman banged her and then married her. And then she was actually married to both of them. And this guy started posting videos about it. "Sheikh Uthman has my wife. She's still married to me. We're not even divorced." And Sheikh Uthman married her and is currently banging her. So that's Sheikh Uthman. Did that hurt his credibility in the Ummah even slightly? No, they do not care. They do not care how horrible you are. Then more recently, his original wife, I mean, he may have had wives before that, but his wife before the wife that he took from his dawah buddy, filed a restraining order because he's choking her during sex and so on, and threatening her with a gun and beating her and so on. She files a restraining order to keep him away from her for all the stuff he's doing. Did that hurt him? This was all exposed. This is on the internet. Did it hurt his credibility even slightly? No. So you got a guy who fakes hate crimes against himself, commits adultery, bangs. If you send your wife to him for marital counseling, he bang her and marry her, even without her divorcing you. And he's sitting there choking his wife, beating his wife, threatening his wife with a gun, and so on. And none of this bothers him. None of this bothers him. None of this bothers his fans. None of this bothers the Ummah. And this guy, a repulsive, absolute evil scumbag, sits here talking about how bad the kuffar are. And who is he? He's this great noble person. Why? Because he gorges himself with food all month and shoves food down his gullet and calls it fasting. That's what I mean. Islam convinces the worst people in the world that they're the best people in the world just by calling them that. It's in the Quran. Surah 3, verse 110. Muslims are the best of peoples ever raised up for mankind. Surah 98, verse 6. Jews and Christians are the worst of creatures. Islam just says it. Just mindlessly obey the idiotic ramblings of an illiterate 7th century Arabian caravan robber, and you're the best of people. What if I'm banging my friend's wife? What if I'm faking hate crimes against myself? What if I'm choking my wife out? What then? You're still one of the you're the best of the best. You're the best of the best. You're so great. This is what Islam does to your brain, people.
Well, that's how it deals. Hey, it's kind of weird, man. I was just looking at videos here. I just opened my feed. I was looking at Daniel Kikachu, and then I see that there's an ongoing.
Is that Will Wheaton?
I don't know. There's a debate going on. It's called Roman Catholic Mass Debate. It's like,
why did someone just do that? Why did you do that? Apologetic Doug. Why did you do that? Did you know what you're doing, or you just do you lack self-awareness?
I don't know. Maybe not everybody has such a dirty mind, David.
But I'm saying, so I mean, do it. Look, think if you actually said, so these guys are debating it. So these guys are doing a mass debate. So they're mass debaters. These are the mass debaters. These are the Roman Catholic mass debaters. How do you seriously, dude? Apologetic, dude. Dude, come on.
So That's that. There's Sheikh Uthman says that disbelievers are worse than pigs and dogs. That's very, very good. Let's see. Christian Theology and Apologetics says trust Dawa or fight a gorilla with your bare hands. Obviously trust Dawa. What do you mean?
I'd fight a gorilla for free.
Me too. Sketch therapy. I was joking. Most of my chats are calls you want to laugh. Based. Rami Hyder made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Appreciate this. This comes from Serbia, I believe.
You come
No, it doesn't. Levster made a super chat. Ida Rogozin, what's up, Ida? Ida is based. Ramadan Kareem, my brothers in humanity. Bill Galactica gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Bill Galactica. Appreciate it. Swiss Apologetics. AP has new PC.
Intergalactica.
AP's new PC has more memory than Sam Shamoon. No, it doesn't actually.
Impossible.
It doesn't. That's not possible. Don't be ridiculous. That's not possible. Saint Civilin says Islam is loud because it's dying a painful death.
That's actually true. That's actually true, guys. And you're going to be seeing this all year long. But when things go wrong for them and they feel you could see this on an individual level. You see an individual Muslim who starts doubting his religion and so on. He'll start outwardly acting more devout and more extreme and so on. Seen that over and over again. But when you have the entire ummah and they're getting weak and things are not going the way they want and so on, it looks like people are catching on. People are not buying their stuff. Dawah doesn't work anymore because people have caught on to the Dawah script. They get more aggressive. They get more hostile, more aggressive, more violent because they have no plan B. The good thing is, the light at the end of the tunnel is if people stand their ground right now and expose Islam even more, this isn't going to work. More people are going to fall away. You're going to have a bigger avalanche of apostasy, and they have no plan after this. This is their final big tantrum that they're throwing. If this tantrum does not work or this tantrum blows up in their face, I mean, metaphorically, I hope it doesn't actually blow up because this is a bad month for them blowing things up. But yeah, if it doesn't work, if Islam keeps collapsing and all their tantrums don't work and don't impress anybody, you're going to see a severely weakened version of Islam in the future.
Weakened.
Weaklings.
That's that. Whatever you just said, totally true. Abraham Harb, 5052000 Australian news articles on the significance of Ramadan and the importance of the West to embrace it. Embracing it with a huge pig on my spit. Do so. I saw earlier.
I do embrace it. I do embrace it. One, I just started re-releasing Islamicize Me this time on Rumble. So nice. I'm reposting Islamicize Me because that Islamicize Me, I think it was like 2018. That we released that during Ramadan. I was releasing 1 episode per day for every day of Ramadan. So I'm doing that now. That's over on Rumble. You could check that out. But that and we're going to be we're going to be celebrating Ramadan all month, ladies and gentlemen. You watch. We have embraced it.
Well, I already congratulated Muslims, did my part and said Happy Ramadan to the cult of Muhammad, and also posted a picture of it, which is very kind of me to do. So,
hey, check out my posts.
Ethan Matthews said, it's official. I'm volunteering in Israel this summer. I'm also going during Pride. Pray that I partake in sodomy in the Holy Land. No, I'm not doing that. Arctic based. Your posts? What's your name again?
What? At something.
David.
David.
David Wood. Paul X17 David. Oh yeah, there you are. Let's see. Let us see.
Got that.
To celebrate Ramadan, I decided to re-release Islamicize Me, the greatest series in history, on Rumble. Here's the first episode.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about my Ramadan post, man. Scroll down.
Oh, good.
Look, opposite month has officially begun. For the next 30 days, up is down, down is up, left is right, right is left, good is evil, evil is good, feasting is fasting, fasting is feasting. Respect the lie, or you're an Islamophobe. Now scroll down to the next one, which I got a cool prediction here. There you go.
Wow, this is good, man. Wow.
Yeah. Look at this. Everyone ready to binge eat for 30 days and call it fasting? And then I have this Ramadan body transformation. So this is what you look like at day one, ladies and gentlemen. See on the left there, you look like day one. You're all shredded up. And then on day 10, you've gained about 8 pounds, and then day 20, you've gained like 20 pounds, and you get some boobs, and then by the time you're finishing, you've gained like 40 or 50 pounds, but your beard is stronger. Your beard is stronger.
Did you make this?
Yeah, I made that.
Did you just reverse somebody's?
Yes,
program?
yes, that's exactly what I did. Thanks for snitching on me.
It looks like something you would do.
Yeah, just so everyone knows, I'm going to be doing that all month with pretty much every person's weight loss journey I can find. It's just going to be reversed and listed as Ramadan fasting.
Man, that's good. That's good. Good stuff.
That was it, man.
Good stuff. Powerful.
It's only day 1 of Ramadan, man. It's only day 1. Wait till day 30.
Day 1. Let's have a few.
Hey! I already thought of my day 30. No, steal my idea. But for day 30, I'm going to have the classic picture of Adolf Hitler and the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, and I'm going to say up top, it's going to say, Eid al-Fitr sounds like Adolf Hitler. Coincidence? And I'm going to have Hitler as Adolf Hitler, and then the other guy as Eid al-Fitr. Isn't it funny? Like what are the odds that it rhymes so perfectly? Adolf Hitler, and Eid al-Fitr.
I think it needs a little bit of work, but it could totally work out.
It's going to be super bass.
That's good. That's good. Arctic Base, speaking of base, says Ramadan Mubarak, everyone. The Ramadan street in Oslo is all lit up, and all our politicians and cultural elites are celebrating our new national religion. Happy days. Man. Even up there in Oslo, where people have nothing better to do than freezing. And Ramadan. Sketch therapy. Are people nice to Islam planning to convert and oppress us? Yes. Talia says, seems that Islam has the more active, powerful entity behind it, seeing as though it is successfully taking over. Your God only lets people die. This is powerful. Ankip Andy, democracy will always fail. Also, Trump is so wrong about Ukraine, and Putin is a socialist dictator. I wouldn't necessarily call him a socialist, but he's definitely an autocrat and an imperialist scumbag. That's what he is.
And an evil douche.
Yes. Careful, man. You'll have people attacking us now.
Oh, no, Putin's gonna come and get me. Putin's gonna come and get me.
How dare you say that? Ukraine broke an agreement. The West
Gonna come in shirtless while riding a bear.
Recently, I'm kind of enjoying making posts about all of that kind of piss both sides off, and then I'm just watching people unfollow me.
Yeah, very rude.
It's kind of funny.
That's what you get. We always cry ourselves to sleep when people unfollow us, especially when they say, "Oh, I can't believe I agreed with you on Islam, but I can't agree with you on this. Unfollow."
I agree with everything you said, but now that you said something I don't agree with, I
thought you would agree with everything I ever thought in my life, and I can't handle the thought of people disagreeing with me about anything, especially my hero Putin. How can you disagree with me about Putin? He's my hero.
AP, I love you with vids, but peace be upon me. AP, do you think a new crusade is needed for Muslims in Europe? Islam is started by sword and will end by internet and AP. David Wood. I think Islam is dying now. Yes, we need a new crusade. Just depends on how you want to conduct the crusade. It could just be an internet crusade, or it could be an AI crusade. Something like that. I don't know. Leonardo, did Syrian girl nuke Dawood Abu al-Dizzle's house? This is why David has relocated. Good to see y'all, friends. Thank you, Leonardo. DT, did you listen to husband and sister of Shir Bibas speak at funeral? I only saw bits and pieces of the transcript of the husband of Yarden Bibas. I haven't gotten around to actually sit down and listen to them. It's really, really messed up and heartbreaking. And there are people out there who still go and claim and make Hamas's propaganda, saying, oh, it was Israeli airstrikes that... No, it wasn't Israeli airstrikes that killed them. It was so-called Palestinians who murdered them. And other Palestinians support them. Songs of relief. Did I say royal overlords? I meant protectors. Powerful. Susan Lee, one of the titles of the king is defender of the faith. Perhaps it should have been specified which faith.
You called me the defender of the faith. This means I must defend Islam, our new faith.
You see, this is what they do. This is what they do. Isn't the king also the head of the Church of England? Technically, which would mean that the head of the Church of England, the head of the church of the faith, is sitting there and basically serving those who say we want to take over your country and get rid of Christianity.
Yes, let me
Very-
bag up your dates for you, and then I will fondle your balls.
That's very, 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 very messed up.
Weaklings.
Weaklings, dimmy. Thalia, Islam is scum, but is winning. No, it's not. Moo Joe says, it is scary how easy we made it for the Momos to take over the Western world. We import them and provide for them, and our kings bow down to them. Yeah, but not any longer. Not no
Yeah,
longer.
yeah. Here's the thing, though. It's guys. It's more along the lines of look how Islam has had Western leaders and journalists and educators and entertainers and everyone in any position of power or authority in the West doing everything they can to help it for decades, and it's still crumbling. That's the story, guys. It's still crumbling from within in spite of everyone in every position of power and authority for the past 2 decades doing anything they could to help it. It's still crumbling. The takeaway there is how weak and pathetic this thing is.
Powerful, powerful. Carol says that's brilliant, David Wood. Apparently, she thinks it's very brilliant that Islam is so messed up. So that's Carol for you. Yeah. Anyway, let's listen to. Before that, actually, since we got into how non-Muslims are filthy, lowly creatures, let's have another guy tell us the same thing. Here we have Jake Broccoli. So Jake Broccoli, also known as the Muslim metaphysician, who apparently decided to wake up and just go to whatever speech he was delivering with his pajamas.
Also looks like he started Ramadan a couple of months early. No, this is actually a serious issue, because I mean, even though he's ideologically he's evil scum, guys, I've been evil scum before too. So I always hope that people eventually snap out of it. But no, Jake, you said a while back that you've been diagnosed with MS. That's going to affect you more in the future, but it's a good idea to get in preemptive shape. You don't want to have the problems in the future and have an extra 200 pounds of weight on you. It's going to make things worse. So get in shape while you can still get in shape, and then in the future, when you're having problems, you'll be significantly better off. So, with that said, your religion is freaking garbage.
Why
So
is he not
leave it.
wearing a suit? Why am I supposed to listen to this guy? Let's see what he says.
Those people, right, the disbelievers amongst the Jews and the Christians and the mushrikeen, they will be in hellfire. They will be in hell eternally, and they are the worst of the creatures.
What's with that face, man? The worst of creatures.
You know, it's interesting because the Quran also compares these people. It says they are worse than the cattle, than the cows, right? He says you're worse than the cattle because at least the cow, okay, you want to say the cow is dumb or whatever.
Not the time to be talking about cows, Jake.
Yeah. This is a very, 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 very interesting approach. This guy actually blocked me after being in the middle of conversations and debate negotiations. After agreeing to debate me in the middle of debate negotiations, he wiggled himself out of the debate negotiations by blocking me because after October 7, I said Israel should show it to them.
No, he's a coward. I have agreed to like 4 or 5 debates with him, and he backs out every time.
Yeah.
He tosses
And
out.
here he
He
is.
tosses out challenges. I agree. I accept the challenge, and then he backs out like a freaking coward.
It's just the hypocrisy, of these people. People like this, they will start crying because you support the other side in things in a war, but then they have no problem sitting there lecturing people and telling them that basically the disbelievers, those who are not Muslims and those who reject Islam, are the worst of creatures. They are less than animals. They are less than cattle, less than cockroaches, and so on. It's just the hypocrisy is just amazing to me. It's so fascinating. If we ever talked about them the way they talk about non-Muslim disbelievers, I don't know, man. Maybe we're doing something wrong.
One, we'd be kicked off of every platform that exists. Two, it would be international news. It would be look at what these people are saying about poor Muslims. Look at this. Look at the Islamophobia. How dare they? But every one of these guys can say it about us all day long, and no one cares.
Where was that? Why he got an Apple notebook? Well, because the disbelievers who make the Apple notebook, they are the servants who make it for him, so he can use it.
Well, yeah, but we thought the Predator laptop was the official brand of all defenders of child molestation.
Well, you have to level up before you get the Predator laptop.
Okay, yeah, you have to be the world's leading defender.
Yeah.
Of molesting children, Jake. So you can only aspire to be as cool as Daniel.
Yeah, you couldn't even
Just
dream
correct
of being the best advocate of child molestation.
Yeah, you Jake, you can't even you're not man enough to even carry the Predator laptop filled with all the whatever's on it. Bunch of perverts, man.
So anyway,
why does he look perpetually pissed off? Look at his face.
I know he looks like he always has a
He
problem.
always looks enraged. It's like, dude.
He always has a problem. So here we have these two goofs talking about Sharia. Sharia.
Some outdated practices. But if you read that tweet very carefully, I am making it very clear that Sharia, the law of Islam, is paramount. It cannot be changed. I believe in every single dot of it. I do not believe it can be changed. It can be altered. It can be removed. It can be cancelled. I do not believe that. I believe every single dot of Sharia is applicable until the day of judgment. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people say, but this is what I believe in. With regards to
so here's what he just said. So the same guy who, as we can remember, in fact, let's just bring the context out here. The same guy who says the following here. The same guy who says that Muslims should have a vision, and within the next 50 years, we should have multiple Muslim prime ministers across Western nations, as he says it right here again. Let's play this again.
Muslims living in Britain and Muslims living in Canada, Muslims living in Australia, Muslims living in the Muslim lands. Where is your vision for the next 50 years? We can have a global vision and we can have a local vision. I believe we should
Local
have
vision is we will bang all the kids
in the next 50 years, right? In Britain and in Canada. This is the solution. This is going towards a positive revival of the Muslim Ummah vision. I believe we should have at least 3 prime ministers in the next 50 years.
You guys are so clueless.
3 Muslim prime ministers. That's what he has. That's the vision that he has. And the same guy believes in every single letter and dot of Sharia. And he also says, and I do believe this, and I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what people say. In response, I believe in all of it, and I believe that no single part of it is abolished or reformed. Let's have that again.
On Twitter, and you asked a question whether I believe if Sharia is outdated, because I referred to some outdated practices. But if you read that tweet very carefully, I am making it very clear that Sharia, the law of Islam, is paramount. It cannot be changed. I believe in every single dot of it. I do not believe it can be changed. It can be altered. It can be removed. It can be cancelled.
Daniel's hearing, so I can bang kids. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, you hear that, everyone? He said we can bang all the kids.
All right, so under Sharia, so this guy both believes that across Western nations there should be Muslim prime ministers within the next 50 years. And he also believes that that Sharia is unchangeable, unalterable. It is always applicable. He believes in every single aspect of it, no matter what anyone thinks. So he's obviously an Islamist who supports, who supports Islam, who supports Islamic rule, who supports Islamic terror, and so on. Who is a Sharia jihadist, and who probably, he needs to be treated accordingly. But Sharia would mean that, first of all, Islamic law should be fully implemented. Islam should be rule of law. There should be once the country is an Islamic nation, an Islamic country, there should no longer be the possibility to ever deviate from that and to ever change that. Remember, according to Sharia, if a land once becomes a Muslim country, it is permanently a Muslim country. Whether Muslims lose control of it or not, they are supposed to keep it, take it, retain it, and eventually take it back if they ever lose it. They are supposed to impose Islamic laws, brutal Islamic laws, on the entire population. Muslims are to abide and be completely loyal to Sharia. The non-Muslims, the Christians and Jews, if they don't accept Islam, they are supposed to be subjugated and are supposed to become class citizens who pay protection money. If they don't pay protection money, they are killed. They are fair game. If they do pay protection money, then they are basically subjects of the Muslims who are treated as lesser beings and are constantly humiliated in order to eventually coerce them to become Muslims. Slavery is there. I don't know what I'm counting here. Slavery is there. Sex slavery is there. Killing apostates is there. Killing blasphemers. Turning women into second-class beings, and so on, who are basically properties. What else is there, David? What else is there about this beautiful Sharia?
Nothing but good stuff.
Nothing but good stuff. So that's basically what we're dealing with here. He wants nothing but good stuff for the entire Western world. And he says he has a vision for the next 50 years. I just want to ask the non-Muslims here, what's your vision for the next 50 years? I would say that, unfortunately, lots of people are so blind. And of course, we also have non-Muslim religious leaders telling us how Islam is actually totally cool, and they're our brothers and sisters. And at the same time, the Muslims are here saying that they want to take over. This is what we are confronted with and faced with. It's kind of dark, man. It's kind of dark.
Mm-hmm.
I believe every single dot of Sharia is applicable until the day of judgment. I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people say. But this
good. I think you're a scumbag.
Is what I believe in. With regards to the age issue, the young marriages, when I say outdated, I mentioned localities, that local customs. What local customs am I talking about? Where Muslims are living. The societies Muslims are living in, communities Muslims are living in. For example, we live in the West. Here, young marriages are outdated for over a century nearly, depending on where you are, because in some places, young marriages were outdated later. Okay, and I made it very clear that when you are in such localities, or when you are with such people, you respect local customs. And this is something we learn from the Messenger of Allah, the example of Aisha radiallahu anha, when the Prophet said, "Oh Aisha, if it wasn't for your people, I would have brought the door of the Kaaba down." So this is something the Prophet wanted to do, but because of cultural sensitivities, he didn't bring the door of the Kaaba down. He left it as it is, and it is the way it is today. Okay, so this is one of the examples I can cite where the Prophet respected local sensitivities due to local customs. So what I'm saying is, it is absolutely not obligatory in Islam to marry young women. Okay, it's not. Okay.
No, I would recommend everyone who is watching this to actually, after this live stream, go over and watch this video. This is directly on Adnan Rashid's channel. It's called Is Sharia Outdated? Sit there and watch this video. What he does here, as he continues, what they do here is, for example, if we talk about something like child marriage, he's basically chastising Daniel Kikuchu here, because Daniel Kikuchu is openly saying that it's okay in any case to marry little children. What Adnan Rashid says is that no, right now, especially with those around us to whom that is unacceptable, we should not be doing it and we should not be saying it. However, that doesn't mean that we have given it up. if the conditions arise and if we have a Muslim environment and a Muslim world, it is of course totally fine to once again marry little children. Of course, he doesn't call it little children. He says a girl that is ready for marriage, for example, at the age of 9. He believes it is doable. Of course, he does this whole ridiculous thing again. Oh, you don't have to marry a 9-year-old. Yeah, we know that. We know that, you freaking dumbass. We know that. The problem is that you allow people to marry little children. That's the problem. This is basically what he does. And they get into a whole argument about Muhammad's marriage to Aisha. Aisha. In fact, let's have a little look at that. Islamophobe, Islamophobe, Islamophobes, Islamophobes. Look here, look here, look here, look here. This beautiful conversation here.
Any verse of the Quran, any hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, or anything from the prophetic tradition that's authentically proven, I stand by it on my life.
Do you think it's authentically proven that the Prophet ﷺ married Aisha when she was 6?
No, betrothal took place at 6. Again,
was the act there?
Again, the framing of the narrative is incorrect. The way you put it is this is how Islamophobes like to put it. 6 years old. Muhammad married a 6-year-old. This is a lie. He did not. The act, the betrothal, took place at 6. That doesn't mean in that culture it's perfectly normal, right? The question is, when did they come together? This is the question, right? And it's a very nuanced discussion. Again,
when was that?
9.
So you heard it right here. The entire discussion here is when we say that Muhammad married Aisha when Aisha was 6 years old, to him this is not acceptable because technically Muhammad did not consummate the marriage with Aisha. They only arranged the marriage. He does acknowledge that the marriage was arranged, or they were betrothed when she was 6 years old. He doesn't have a problem with the fact, which we point out all the time, that the consummation of the marriage took place. So Muhammad taking her to bed and having actual sex with her, like full-fledged sex with her, that this took place when she was 9 years old and he was in his 50s. He doesn't have a problem with this at all. He acknowledges this, and he also doesn't see this as a problem. So this guy only has little semantic disagreements on the whole idea of child marriage, but he also supports fully that marrying little children, a 50-year-old man marrying a 9-year-old girl and taking her to bed and having sex with her is totally fine because the Prophet Muhammad did it. And this is the guy who proposes that Muslims should take over. And he's one of the leading voices of Muslims in the UK.
He is. Has been for a while.
Do British people want these guys to take over?
Apparently so. I mean, all you can do is judge by their actions, and their actions say yes, absolutely.
If these guys start taking over and allowing marriage to little children, what will the British population do about this? I can predict it already. They will do nothing about it. They will just complain. That's it. They will complain and just let them do it. Because that's basically how it's going. Every single time that these guys go further and further and do something absolutely disgusting, the response is just to complain about it, but to then let them do it anyway. I know some people want to believe in this fantasy world where people will fight back and they will never allow it. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't buy it. If these guys took power today and started implementing child marriage, the British people would probably start complaining about it, but then they would eventually allow it and would just tweet about it. That's it. That's not how it should be going. That's not what we should be doing. I can tell you what should be done. What should be done is to mass deport people. What should be done is to take this here as an example and take Islamist voices who agree with stuff like this and collectively kick them out. Yes, you can do it.
Yeah, we'll buy an island. We'll call it a pedo island. Matter of fact, let's just buy Epstein Island and let these guys move there. And no, we can't give them any little girls because that would be endangering the little girls. But what we can do is give them plenty of little dresses and stuff so they can play dress up, and then they can role play. And so, like Daniel, he can shave his little beard and dress up as a 9-year-old girl, and then Adnan can have his way with him, and then they can switch, and they can just do that, right? We'll call it Pedo Island, or Epstein Island, or whatever, Islam Island, PDF file Island, and you guys can just do it that way, and that way the kids are protected, but you guys get to carry out your fantasies.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I'm trying to work with them.
Yeah. And since we know that the UK is not going to do anything about this, the UK is just going to let this happen. My advice would be to other European countries, like Germany, for example. Like Germans, you have a perfect opportunity here. Since British people just accept this kind of stuff and just roll with it, and you guys want to look for ways to solve this problem, easy solution: take Islamists and deport them to the UK. Deport them all to Britain. Take Islamists who have views like this and deport them over to Britain, and just let them do whatever they want over there, so that you can get rid of them, and then you can maybe build a wall around Britain or something. Perfect solution. See.
Quick comment here. Juris Doctor says, I just listened to Richard Dawkins speak to Steven Pinker, and I had to say I love you, D. Wood, but you have a very low understanding of Richard Dawkins' claims, and it makes you sound dishonorable. Show me one thing where I have not been accurate about Richard Dawkins' claim. One, do that. And two, when you say these things about you sound like a freaking idiot to me. So shut up. And we're sitting here talking about Sharia, and you're, but Richard Dawkins. Guy, what is your freaking problem here? What is this thing? Oh, what are we doing? We're talking about Islam taking over the Richard Dawkins. You sound like a freaking brainwashed moron, dude. Give it up. What is this, man?
David always has to insult people again, of course.
I'm just saying, it's like
first you call the guy Steven Pinker.
Every person seems to go into every live stream with, here's what I think about this thing right here. Oh, what's the topic? Don't care about that. Let me talk about how Richard Dawkins is great. Show me what he said to Steven Pinker and how it refutes anything I've ever said about him. And when you can't, quit acting like a freaking idiot, and remember next time before you post a stupid comment on a live stream that has nothing to do with whatever you're fantasizing about, you lunatic.
Here you can see once again that David Wood is suffering from what happens in Ramadan when you fast. During the day, you get angry, and
it's called hangry. But Richard Dawkins, what? So what are these guys? We're talking about child marriage and banging little kids here, and Sharia and taking over the West, and the kings banging up dates. Richard Dawkins is my hero. Oh gosh, then go on something where they're talking about Richard Dawkins and talk about how great he is and how much you worship him.
Steven Pinker. Pure Life says, have you guys covered the Christian origin of Islam through Muawiyah and Abdul Malik? No.
No, because we don't believe it. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Muhammad not existing. Let's talk about that. Muhammad never even existed. What? Guys are taking over the UK, and we're going to go to banging kids, and the king of England is bagging up their dates for the guys who want to bang little kids. Oh my goodness, did you talk about the Christian origins of Islam?
Talia says only Viwanans can change the world, not love. This is true. Viwanans is pretty based. Grumpy Granny, narcissists are everywhere, even the priesthood, unfortunately. That is totally based. Elsa says Christopher Hitchens on Islamophobia. The barbarians never take the city until someone holds the gates open for them. Yes. I want to just listen to that again. Because for quite some time I thought I didn't understand that part, but just this speech here by Christopher Hitchens, he points out something very, very interesting.
You didn't understand the barbarians never take the city until someone holds up the gates for them?
I did understand that part. What I didn't understand about it was his reference to people of other religions doing it. Let's see. Let me actually download this
so you can boost the volume.
This is very urgent business, ladies and gentlemen. I beseech you. Resist it while you still can, and before the right to complain is taken away from...
What?
He said beseech.
Beseech, yeah.
I beseech you.
Taken away from you, which will be the next thing. You will be told you can't complain because you're Islamophobic. The term is already being introduced into the culture as if it was an accusation of race hatred, for example, or bigotry, whereas it's only the objection to the preachings of a very extreme and absolutist religion. Watch out for these symptoms. They are not just symptoms of surrender, very often ecumenically offered to you by men of God in other robes, Christian and Jewish and smarmy ecumenical. These are the ones who will hold open the gates for the barbarians. The barbarians never take a city till someone holds the gates open for them.
By the way, AP.
And it's your own pre.
What?
If you ever want to basically try out making a video on your new computer, very simple. Take all these little clips of all these guys, Sheikh Uthman, Adnan Rashid, all these guys saying what they are actually looking forward to, and all these little clips of the king bagging up dates, Cardinal what's his face, talking about how wonderful Ramadan is. Splice them all together, and then at the end of it all, these are the guys holding the gates open. Boom, boom, video. Boom, legendary video.
This is the funny thing. This is what I mean. When I saw this first a few years back, I didn't really get why he would specifically talk about people of other religions, Christians and Jewish, doing the opening the gates for them. Now I understand it. Now I get it.
Do you understand?
Unfortunately, now I get it. Now I see it. Do you see it too? Do you see it too, everybody?
Surrender, very often ecumenically offered to you by men of God in other robes, Christian and Jewish and smarmy ecumenical. These are the ones who will hold open the gates for the barbarians. The barbarians never take a city till someone holds the gates open for them. And it's your own preachers who will do it for you, and your own multicultural authorities who will do it for you. Resist it while you can. And if you wonder what will happen if you don't, look and see how a cricket team in Middlesex in England had to change its name by force last week, because it was called, and had been for years, the Middlesex Crusaders. Look and see how stories about little pigs can't be taught to children in English schools anymore, lest offense be taken by the religion of peace. Resist it while you can.
It's good that people heeded his advice so well. They heeded his advice so well. They resisted while they could.
They resisted Islamophobia. That's what they did instead.
They did. They resisted reality, and they resisted everyone who tried to actually warn them, and they resisted Christopher Hitchens himself. Great job, guys. Great job resisting everything that would actually be good for you.
This guy makes sense. We should make him president or something. Japister said, Declaration on the Relation of the Church and Non-Christian Religions Nostra Aetate, October 18, 1965. Yes, I know. I read it. And yes, there's something good about it, but there's also something really bad about it.
Claire says, who's on your shirt, D Wood? That would be
Michael Jackson.
The King.
See, it's Michael Jackson.
King of pop.
Michael Jackson. Sketch therapy, it's either ignorant or malicious. He hold innocent. That's true. The clergy generally are the worst dhimmis on earth. Christopher Hitchens said they would open the door for barbarians to take the city. This is a good point. Wait, he said that?
Really? I don't believe that. Prove it. Video or it didn't happen.
I don't believe it for a second. Bilactamite says, just completed a 7-day water fast. If I had less than 16 cups of water a day with proper electrolytes, I would get dizzy and fall down when I stood up. These Muslims weak. This is powerful. The funny thing about the whole Muslim
that is serious. That is serious, by the way. If you've actually done like real fasting for long periods of time, like the first time I ever fasted, I went 10 days on nothing but water. And so for these guys, oh my goodness, all I've done is gorge myself full of food for 2 days, twice in 1 day. It's a week. It's like, guys, my goodness, do 1 day of real fasting in your life and then come back and cry to us.
This is fun. That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Hey, Black Queen Network says I've done 12 days with only water. That was my max as well. I did 11 when I was still an atheist, and then after I became a Christian, I was like, I have to outdo what I did as an atheist, so I went 12.
Cool. Smart says when we used to do the World Division, 30-hour famine in high school in the 80s, we used to gorge ourselves up to the minute before it started and drink juice and watch movies all night, fasting.
Powerful. 30-hour famine.
That is pretty good. Yeah. Devin, wasn't there a historian who wrote a book comparing Islam and Christianity? I heard it mentioned once here. Thank you guys for your work. Do you mean which one is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring to.
Do you mean Dominion? Do you mean in the what's that other book called? In the thing of the sword, in the shadow of the sword? Well, probably one of those Tom Holland books. D. Boudreau Protali, senior cleric and 5 worshippers in KP, Pakistan, went to paradise on eve of Ramadan. It has begun.
Wait, the Ramadan Bamathon has begun?
Sir Jacob Prophet, Roman Catholic Catechism 891.
What do you mean?
Catechism 891. What is the 891? I don't want to bash Catholicism here, man.
Yeah, we only want to bash particular leaders.
Yes. I don't want to bash Catholicism. The Roman Pontiff, head of the College of Bishops, enjoys this infallibility in virtue of his office when a supreme pastor and teacher of all the faithful, who confirms his brethren in the faith, he proclaims by definitive act of doctrine pertaining of faith to morals, blah, 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 blah. Infallibility. Yeah, I can't comment on that. Paulo Lungaro, so in Ramadan Inn is different from Ramadan. It's not actually. It's actually the same thing. Ramadan Inn is the same thing as Ramadan. It counts if you just go there during Ramadan.
There should be some sort of joke where someone shows up at a Ramada Inn and they're like, "Hey, we heard it's Ramadan over here."
Powerful. Ted asked, yet I got spat on walking until. Oh yeah, I started this earlier because this is a Ted East who apparently went to Tel Aviv and was wearing a cross and got spat on. David, how likely is it that this happened?
It's possible because we have only acknowledged like a trillion times that there is one extremely, they're called radical hyper-orthodox sect that does that. With that said, Tel Aviv, like the most liberal place on the planet. For my cross and they spit on me. You sure it wasn't because you're a douche or something?
This is like saying I went to California. And there were Bible thumpers everywhere.
Yes,
they were telling
I
me
went to San Francisco and they thought that I was gay, so they all beat me up in San Francisco. David, how could you say that this didn't happen?
Ted East, I mean, I know there is a real person probably making this comment behind here, but I mean, do you have any principles at all? How pathetic are you? Are you some dumbass who just sits there and just wants to like spout garbage that you see online or something? You don't know what Tel Aviv. You don't know anything about Israel. What are you talking about? Even if like there is a sect of people who would do something like that, it's not that they would spit on a person. It's that they would spit on the ground symbolically in remembrance.
And did you see any of those dudes in Tel Aviv?
No.
I didn't see anything like that in Tel Aviv.
This is something
if I didn't know where I was, if I didn't know where I was and I looked around, I would think that I was like in like a nice area of LA or like San Francisco or something like that. That's what Tel Aviv is like.
Tel Aviv is like woke as hell or something like that. If you want to, by that standard, this could possibly happen in some part of Jerusalem or something like that, and it will probably happen to if you walk through Jerusalem every single day of the year. I don't know. Maybe it will happen once in a few years or so. But seriously, man, freaking stupid Nick.
I got stepped off the plane and they all spit on me because of my cross.
I got out of the plane and they immediately asked me, "Are you Jewish?" And I said no, and then everybody started spitting on me.
They peed on me and they beat me up and they said,
They said, "This is how we take showers."
You filthy guy! You filthy guy! They all started beating me with a Talmud. About the Talmud. And I remember I saw Libra David 67 right there on the page. They were beating me with the Talmud. And they said, "This is what we think of you Nick Fuentes types."
Oh man. Carlo Magno, AP Catholics have been fighting Islam from the beginning. Charlemagne,
Oh yeah, you guys are doing a great job.
The Crusades, the church today teaches not to be antagonistic against Islam, but to call them to Jesus' church. Look, I don't know how long you have been here, but whenever I talked about European struggle and Christian struggle with Islam in the past, I have consistently expressed one thing, which is that the Catholics were the ones who did most of the fighting and standing strong and keeping the Islamic invaders out and so on, for which they are unforgettably based. So this is of course true. The Catholic Europeans have a history of putting up a powerful fight against Islamic invasions, unlike the Orthodox who just rolled over and just were like, "Oh, help, help, help." Just kidding, man. But unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact that there is a lot of weird stuff going on in the Catholic Church nowadays, including, as we just recently went through it, John Paul II saying, "May Saint John the Baptist protect Islam." What is this? Things like that. It's just wild. I'm not denying the role that Catholicism played in keeping out the Islamic invasions, but right
it's
now
kind of
there's
like what? Yeah, it's kind of like, what have you done for us lately? It's like when you're like, "Oh, but look at what we did." It's like when Muslims say, "Oh, but the golden age of Islam back then when we did something." It's like, what have you done lately?
Powerful. Powerful. Yeah, because that was Orthodox. Well, unfortunately, I mean, I can of course say that Orthodox also put up a fight against the Islamic invaders. They just didn't put up a very good fight. They just basically gave it all away over time. Razor's edge shaving. The West forgot the hundreds of years of war and the unrelating hostility of Islam and fell asleep. I've been reading Ibrahim's book. I'm glad I found you guys. Awesome.
Good book to be reading.
That's a good book. That's a good book. Fantastic stuff. Wahumad. Hey, what's up, Wahumad? Wahumad Wah, Prince of Zarazland, says, "Alhamdulillah." This is a good character. Hey guys, I had this idea long ago, though I don't have the time, of making the Street Fighter-like game called Jihadi Fighters, where apologists beat the heck out of each other. So far, I said 3 types of teams: Christian, Jew, and Muslim. This is interesting. We should work on that. It could definitely happen. It's a good project. Thank you, Wahumad. Maybe somebody can be inspired by this and work together in making this. This could be the next big thing. Aisha's goat lying is our religion and the religion of our forefathers. Without lies, our religion dies. 328 Jalalain. We smile in their face while our hearts curse them. Quran 33:28 Tabari. Powerful.
You have the exact same thing in Ibn Kathir. If you want something easy online. So guys, 3 verse 28, that's what we read earlier about not taking them as friends unless, but yeah, look up Ibn Kathir's commentary on that. That's where he says, 1, taqiyya is allowed until the day of resurrection. So for all you Sunnis, no, it's a Shia practice. Okay, bull. It's in the Quran. 2, Ibn Kathir, one of your greatest scholars of all time, says it's there till the day of resurrection as you need it. But yes, also, we smile in their faces and curse them in our hearts and so on. All that stuff right there. Good stuff.
My comment is late because I was changing diapers, laughing at the image of that sect of ultra-Orthodox Jews beating David and AP with copies of the Talmud.
did.
Uh,
Libra David, they had it open to Libra David to rub it in. Because they're like, oh, this is David. Let's open the Talmud to Libra David.
it's so funny because I mean I explained when we came back from Jerusalem, we basically relayed our experience and everything that we have experienced, we have seen there, and so on. And very, very ironically, one of the things that affected me the most was an interaction that I had with two religious ultra-Orthodox, or Haredi as they're called, Jewish men approaching us, then figuring out that we are not actually Jews, and then having the nicest, most awesome conversation ever. And I just couldn't forget that and couldn't get over that. It's like it affected me very, very deeply. So experiences with religious Jews there were some that affected me on a very deep level. And when I now come back and go online and see here these Nick Fuentes kind of people talk completely unrealistic, weird trash about Jews, you really expect me to sit here and just buy that?
Yeah, and so yeah, especially, dude, if you're gonna get your story right, don't say Tel Aviv. Don't say Tel Aviv. Say some other part. But if you want a more devoutly religious area, AP. just to remind our friend, we went outside the Wailing Wall, outside the Western Wall, right outside the Temple Mount, underground, to the bar mitzvah of Michael Rappaport, where were like 40 or 50 IDF soldiers there. And I was standing on a pillar in the middle of it all, rocking this cross the entire time. And it was just weird. I was expecting these guys, if not to shoot me repeatedly and murder me right there for wearing the cross, at least to spit on me. I'm sitting there standing on a pillar in the middle of all these IDF soldiers and all these Jews and so on at a bar mitzvah. But they forgot. They're like, oh, what are we doing? We can't attack this man. We have to get over to Tel Aviv to beat this guy with the Talmud.
We were given a special tour together with attending a high-profile bar mitzvah. We were given a special tour in Jerusalem, under the Western Wall, archaeological research. We were given a special tour by one of the managers who oversees the whole Western Wall project and so on, who explained everything very, very nicely to us, with David wearing his cross.
Yeah, and then like an idiot, I walked up into the room where they copied the Torah.
Yeah, then David goes into one of the most holy places there, where there are a bunch of rabbis and students and so on sitting and reading and studying and copying and so on, and he just walks through that room with his
I'm like, hey,
cross.
what's in here? I'm like, hey, what's in here? I walk through the whole place.
And it was just a fantastic experience. So you could even say it would be reasonable of them to expect more respect from us, but nobody even like treated us in any way badly. And then you have these imbeciles coming in like, oh, Jews, they spit on you. Shut the hell up, man.
Yeah, and so let me just say, because I understand, I have seen the videos of these guys like spitting in the direction of Christians and stuff. You can have times where people get roughed up and stuff. It's like, just stop finding one incident that you saw on Twitter and saying, you see the Jews. If you're gonna say it like that, I mean, could a Jew, considering Jews have the highest rates against them for hate crimes in the United States, would it be very easy for Jews to take a couple of video clips of stuff that's happening to them and say, look, this is what the United States does to Jews?
Yes, it's that easy.
Why not do that? Look how easy that is.
It would be that easy. Chobble Gobbler says, check out Sadhguru, just a different point of view. I did check out Sadhguru. There was one time that I actually tried mushrooms, and I actually could relate and understand Sadhguru, but then I got off mushrooms and I listened to it again and I thought, this is kind of insufferable. So that was my experience with Sadhguru. I'm sorry to say, but yeah. Sketch Therapy, God of the Kaaba, Momo's family, ask historians. Powerful, powerful. This does make sense that Baal could be related to Hubal of the pre-Islamic polytheists. Mirek Zawala, they profess to hold the faith. The church does not say their faith is Abrahamic. I know, but here's the problem. Look, here is the problem. Pay attention to the wording. Here is the problem. And I know you want to make. I know you want to make a defense, and I get it, completely. But here, so let's open the text of the Catechism one more time. Here was the problem.
Cardinal Dolan didn't say that Ramadan is great. He said,
look, here's the problem. It says the plan of salvation also includes those who acknowledge the Creator in the first place, amongst whom are the Muslims. Why? Then these profess to hold the faith of Abraham. Okay, until here we have no problem.
If you wanted to say these profess, if you wanted to say that, but guess what? Sentence isn't finished yet.
Yeah, it's not.
Sometimes you got to finish the sentence you're reading.
I had the very same thing. I until here, I get it. It says they profess to hold the faith of Abraham. Okay, good, fine. However, it continues and says, and together with us, they adore the one merciful God, mankind's judge on the last day.
Yeah. So the God they adore, the merciful God Muslims adore, is mankind's judge on the last day. Do you agree with that? Are you saying that is a factually true statement? Because right, if you wanted to say they profess to hold the faith of Abraham, fine. Yes, they profess this thing. Do you agree that they adore the one merciful God who will judge the world?
If you said they claim to, or they aim to, or something like that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I would understand.
We could let it slide. It slide.
But it says that they actually do.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
I could never accept such a thing.
Busted.
No matter if you are the Pope, the priest, layman, no matter who you are, it's a ridiculous statement.
They adore the one true God. This is why we will bag up their dates for them.
Rose 3 says, Catholics know that we have a problem with liberal and wayward bishops. NYC, Germany, we have been put in a position of correcting bishops and priests. Unfortunately, you would also have to correct the doctrinal teachings and the catechism put out by the Vatican itself.
Hey, Catholics, why are you acting like Protestants?
We will correct all our leaders and correct their theology and correct
what? We will protest against those bishops. We will make a list of demands about what they're saying, and we will nail them to the church door. What?
Camera quality says the camera is actually not new. I'm still using the same camera. It's just that because I have a new computer that has much better performance. And I attached this thing to my new graphic card. I think it's just delivering the quality of my camera in a much better way. That's the whole thing. I didn't get a new camera yet. Niceties.
You had all those stupid problems with your stupid camera, and you didn't instantly get a new camera.
Obviously, the camera is not a problem right now. See, everything is fine.
We'll see. You had more problems when you're on my live stream.
That's true.
So we'll see if you still have that. We'll see when you're live on my channel if you have no problems.
That's true. Schmat, niceties and consensus has never been in how the church functions until now. Yes. Grumpy Granny, AP, the history of the Bible is very complex. Quoting passages must be done in its literary and historical context. Yes, I agree. Why did you say that to me? I don't understand.
Don't know.
Opposite of Allah, my ex practiced 328 on me. I left Islam 9 months after we married. He got a citizenship and said he needs to divorce me because I left Islam. We were married 7 years. His loss. I'm awesome. That's good.
Yeah, he sounds like a total dope and a moron.
I'm glad he divorced you.
Yeah, send him this clip. Hey, dummy, you screwed up big time, Buster.
Moron.
And now you get to spend the rest of your life regretting your stupid decision.
Imbecile.
Consequences.
Stupid idiot.
Now no one's ever going to like you again.
Yeah. Dumb. Carlo Magno, there's a lot of lots of liberal Catholics. Sadly, even the clergy. That's a problem with them, not with the teachings of the church. Powerful. Mike Winger. Mike Wonger. Mike Wonger.
Is that an Asian? Do they have an Asian on there?
with the Japanese currency here. So doesn't even make sense. Black Milky, Sheikh Uthman's mother is an Ewok. Oh, I didn't know that. I had no idea. Vyati Vistu, Sheikh Uthman is a pathological liar and probably has a form of personality disorder. One Islam appealed to him since he is still a gangster at heart. I know.
To be clear, narcissistic personality disorder. I guarantee it. I guarantee if you sat that guy down and convinced him to give true answers to a psychiatrist, same thing with hijab, same thing with Ali Dawa, same thing with several of them. Their leaders are all being replaced by people with narcissistic personality disorder. And of course, if it's a female, you'll get someone with histrionic personality disorder, and that's Lily J.
But the people. Misha SWB said Uthman failed to burn the verse that says all Jews worship Ezra. Ezra has been perfectly preserved since the Book of Council of Nicaea. There is no compulsion to hail Ezra, you see.
Yeah, hey, that should be their answer to the problems. Like we pointed out, it's like, hey, the Quran is dumb. It says that that Jews call Ezra the son of Allah. And the Muslim response could be, really? But when Uthman tried to burn all the Qurans, he could not destroy that verse. This proves it's true and being protected by Allah. That could be their defense of everything.
Beast.
And when Aisha's goat was eating the passages, they could not eat this one. This proves that it's true. Islamic thinking.
Beast. I'm officially wongling or wonker. Where's Shaky Booty at? He's been gone for a while now. I don't know. Loco said y'all should get Misfit Patriot on. I followed him for some of his takes on Twitter. Not for many others. He did this weird thing recently where he went and attempted to have a debate with Jay Dyer about Zionism or Christian Zionism. Like, why would you do that? It was such a stupid thing to do. Such a stupid... A person who doesn't even know much about the Bible, who would try to have a religious discussion with Jay Dyer. So why would you do that? It was very embarrassing, honestly. Aleris Verus, contributing to AP Defense Fund. Thank you. I'm gonna get a new Iron Dome with this. Rebecca Borg, how much on a scale of 1 to 10 do you blame Khadija for Islam? She convinced Prophet Muhammad that he wasn't mad, confused. I think Khadija she just ran with it because she was like, yeah, whatever you say, man.
No, it's a situation where I mean, think about this. Anyone, you got some relative, husband, wife, son, daughter, like, I have to kill myself because of the demon. This demon is putting thoughts in my head. There are people in the world who would say pretty much anything to calm the person down.
Yes.
And Khadija, oh no, honey, you're not possessed. You're a prophet. Oh, really? Come here, you cutie.
Of course you're not crazy.
I'm crazy in love with you.
Jack Ray says dire consequences for that guy. This is what Jack Ray does all the time. Just play on words. Powerful contributions here. Yes, Jimmy the Jew from Philly became a member. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Now you will be part of this cult and you will be stuck here forever. Just so you know. Aaron Harlow.
Hey, Jimmy, how come last time I went to Philadelphia, you spit on me? I was in Philadelphia and Jimmy saw that I was wearing a cross and he said, what are you doing? What are you doing, guy? And he spit on me.
What a guy. What a strange guy. Wait a minute. Didn't I just have something else downloaded here? Apparently I did. Download videos. Okay, I have another video pulled up here. I don't know why. Let's see. What is this?
Christians believe in Sheikh. They say,
oh boy. Here we have another statement here. Wait. By Jake Broccoli.
Hey, at least he's matching now.
Yeah.
He's color coordinating.
Christians believe in Sheikh. They say separation of church and state. That's secularism. That's a disease. Muslims don't believe in separation between mosque and state. We don't believe. This is an alien concept.
Number one enemy of Islam.
We don't believe in a separation between a 54-year-old man and a 9-year-old girl's vagina.
It's the same thing. They got.
Yes,
they
they must
belong
be
together.
united by banging her.
And number one enemy of Islam today is the ideology of capitalism.
Everything
Islam's
we
number
represent
two. Islam's number two, not
in
number one.
total contradiction to what the West represents.
That's why we live there.
Because all of Islam is in opposition of secularism.
That's why we flee our own countries and move there.
America, the American government,
Kind of boy band.
secularism, democracy, capitalism. These are cancers.
Capitalism has failed humanity definitively. Islam is the only solution.
To hell with their democracy.
Woo! And where do we want to live? Under their democracies.
People's Conference for Palestine. Look at these freaking idiots, man. These. To hell with their democracy. Well, to hell with your Islam. Get out of here.
Hey,
Islam is a cancer.
Hey, King, are you going to respond to this? Let me back up the dates for them.
The king will prepare some extra dates for them.
We'll make them extra dates. You get an extra date for wanting to subjugate me.
Why is Israel accused of genocide when Palestinians said they want to wipe Israel off the map? Am I missing something, or are people just stupid? Well, you obviously don't get it. Israel, if Muslims say that they want to wipe out Jews, this is not genocide. If, however, Jews fight back, this is genocide. So therefore, it is genocide. You just don't get it.
and Aaron, you've been destroyed because we already heard from someone who recently visited Tel Aviv and got spit on and saw a huge genocide.
You see,
he will admit that he saw a huge genocide while he was there.
Victoria Knox said, "Hey, McDonald's should bring back the McRib this Ramadan." This is a very good point. I agree with Victoria here. Arctic-based AP and Daily Wire. Are you coming to Norway anytime soon? Yes, tomorrow. Mojab and Co. are collaborating with the Salafi Islamnet organization and creating a local Dawah center. Seriously, please come and save us soon. Maybe, I don't know, maybe organize something with a local organization and tell them that they need heroes like us to save Norway from the evils that are befalling it, and we will be there in no time.
I predict Norway's the type of place that would like ban me and not let me go, but
No
let all
way.
these Dawah clowns go.
No way. They wouldn't do that. Anna McLeod says, learned in Catholic school that Allah is God, brought very devout Portuguese Catholic, became evangelical 33 years ago and learned the truth about Islam and Jesus. Powerful, powerful. Powerful, powerful. Mark Wonger. Jake the MM surely enjoys Ram It Down.
Everyone loves Ram It Down month. Got an entire month of I can't eat anymore. Gotta ram it down for Allah. It's what we do when we fast.
David, you're glitching. You just
What?
glitched.
You're glitching. That's your stupid computer. Get a better computer.
It hurt my ear because you just glitched. It was a weird sound glitch. That was very fun.
Get a better computer then.
It's your connection, man.
Oh yeah, the hotel's the problem.
Yes. Ida Rogos and CBS thousands convert to Islam in prison each year. See, that's why we need more people in prison.
That's why you need more people in prison in the United States to know that Muhammad banged a 9-year-old girl. That wouldn't be a problem in the UK because they don't have a problem with banging kids. In US prisons, the worst of the worst, well, it's tied with snitches and people who molested kids. If US inmates found out and it became common knowledge that Muhammad had sex with a 9-year-old girl, you would cease to see conversions to Islam in prisons. You would only see conversions away from Islam in prisons.
That's a powerful statement. Anyway, let's go through these final super chats here quickly. New members by Skmud. Thank you so much. Jesse said, if Islam takes Canada, I will call them Muslims.
That's funny.
Good. Hero of Hell, Jai Shri Allah. Alhamdulillah. Saint DeLuca says, with all due respect, is there a reason, AP, that you're looking at Catholicism over Protestantism? Catholicism is enticing sensually, but departs from biblical Christianity. Love you guys, genuinely. Is there a reason? Of course there are reasons. Do I want to get into those reasons at this moment? No, not really. There are reasons why I'm looking into one and the other. There are reasons why I'm looking into 2 over the other. There are reasons why I'm looking into 3 over those others. But do I really want to talk about it? Not really, honestly. I don't. I'm just going through the journey right now. And even if I say that I personally find some more appealing or reasonable than others, I've already said too much. I just don't want to talk about this right now. I'm not in a position to talk about this. All I can do right now is to be on a journey. That's it. And to practice some things. Knows too much. Uthman is a serious sheikh. He modeled his actions after Muhammad getting choked by Dihya in the cave.
No, he reversed it. He acted like Dihya choking Muhammad, and he treated his wife like Dihya treated Muhammad when he choked him in the cave.
That is powerful. Powerful stuff. Skmat, Canada is there with our Prime Dhimmi Trudeau. And have some respect for the Prime Dhimmi, man. Nuance is hard. Sorry, off topic. All jihad reminds me of Norm Macdonald. That's a good reason to remember Norm Macdonald. That was a very
one of the funniest lines ever. It was funny.
It was funny. What did he say, David? Remind everyone for those who don't know.
Oh, he said, what really keeps me up at night is imagine if a bunch of ISIS jihadis managed to get across the border with a nuclear bomb and kill millions of people. Think about the backlash against innocent Muslims.
Mike Wonger said, David Wood, I know you irrationally hate my hero, but please don't hate me. I think this can be arranged.
I don't have to hate you. I could regard you as a brainwashed moron, right? It's like people who are caught in some weird cult. You don't say, oh, I mean, you could think, okay, you're a dope. You fell for, I can't believe you fell for that. How dumb can you be? But, you don't have to hate them because of that.
Beast it. Daily Wire is suffering from Dawkins derangement syndrome. That's what it looks like.
There they go. Bring it up, Dawkins again. Oh, you're having a serious conversation here. What about Dawkins?
Shula made a super chat. Thank you so much. Cyrus the Great said, good morning from Pakistan. Really?
I think it's pronounced Pakistan.
Good morning to Pakistan, if it's really Pakistan. David Wu said, who is making these accounts, man?
They're pretty funny. They're pretty
David
funny.
Wu says, whether it's
funny.
Wongerlings or Wingerlings, they're all unredeemable dorks. My arch nemesis, Mike Wonger, is the ultimate nerd.
Seriously, Wonger is funny with a picture of an Asian dude in glasses. That's what's funny.
David Wu.
Okay, who's going to be the Asian version of you?
There's no Asian version of me. I am already the Asian version. Luke Lang, howdy, gents. I'm thinking that after this semester, I'm going to do a YouTube during the summer and do some Islamic polemics. Islam polemics. Any YouTube tips from the goats? Yes. I would say do it right. And do it with might. And do it with a vision. And do it with a mission. And make short videos that directly address topics concisely. Do not speak too much. Be brief. You can do it, Chief.
And you've got a couple months before the summer, so this is a good time. Watch some 5-minute tutorial. All the basics have been covered by various channels that focus on what works on YouTube. So take 5 minutes a day leading up to the summer to figure out all the groundwork and so on. And then as far as when you actually start making videos, if you're just getting started and so on, I would recommend finding some basically people who are posting content that's easy to respond to, and yet the person is popular. So some da'i, or like Lily J, for instance, when Lily J posts a new video, take the video down, respond to it. It'll be super easy because everything she says is the dumbest thing you've ever heard in your life. And yet there's a bunch of idiots who watch her, and a bunch of other people who are shocked that people are falling for this. But those people who are shocked that someone's falling for that, they like to share videos that are making fun of her. So anyway, that's an example. Or we cover lots of stuff here by various Dawa guys. I mean, we're sitting there watching Adnan Rashid and Daniel Haqiqatjou and stuff like that. But yeah, find a popular Dawa guy or some sort of influencer and download the video, chop it up, respond to it.
Yeah, I would say do it like Testify. Testify has a very good channel.
No,
except-
Testify makes fun of stuff and has very rude sound effects.
That's true, and makes and uses memes and things like
Hurts
that.
lots of people's feelings.
Take everything that
Can you
Testify
imagine?
does.
Can you imagine Apostate Aladdin actually going to Testify's channel and watching
That's
his video?
true. That's true. So take everything that Testify does and just do it in a better way, not the way that he does it. I would say. Christian theology and apologetics. Dawa. Lying is so much fun. Lying is so much fun. Lying is so much fun.
That is Dawa.
Powerful. Cam, if Alex Jones made a game, AP and David Wood can make a video game, can be a Contra-like game going through bosses like Dia and Gabriel and Final Boss.
Ooh, Contra.
You know what the funny thing is? I've forever had this fantasy of creating a game, of creating a video game relating to these things. It's kind of like one day maybe it will happen, inshallah.
You can't go wrong with Contra.
I could probably write something down and hire somebody to make a game, to create a game.
I still recommend the Endless Lives code from the Nintendo from Contra back in like 8th grade. That's how deep we were into Contra.
Base it. I don't want to paint any large-scale endeavor with the brush, says Pasky 303. But brush that's dipped in the blood of its worst excesses. If then we'd be all irredeemable. JBP. I don't want to paint any large.
You got to read it all like Jordan B. Peterson.
I don't want to paint any large-scale endeavor with the brush that's dipped in the blood of its worst excesses. If then we'd be all irredeemable. Okay, that's good. That's
Yeah, people say, "Hey, why don't you paint in a large-scale endeavor with the brush that's dipped in the blood of its worst excesses?" And I say, "How about no? I don't buy your painting.
I don't buy your brush.
I don't buy your brush.
I don't want that." Saint DeLuca, Catholicism doesn't follow biblical Christianity like praying to Mary, talking to dead peeps, etc. Beware, sending love to you both. Yeah, I mean, I would argue that Protestantism also has the same issues, although it fundamentally claims it fundamentally claims that it doesn't. But I would say, I mean, you could always argue that that it distorts. Look what you're doing. I don't want to do this.
I was in Tel Aviv. And I saw a Protestant praying to Mary.
Yeah, you see. I was walking through Tel Aviv and then I saw a Protestant and he spat on me. So.
And he said, "I'm spitting on you for Mary."
Mirek Zawada. You know what I would always say? I would always suggest, and I don't want to sit here and tell other people how to be and all that.
Yes, you do.
I just the most annoying thing to me is looking at people who speak in the name of Christianity or speak in the name of their church and their denomination, and seemingly the primary thing they do is to just trash talk the other churches or the other denominations and to just spread this whole division and spread hate. It's like, don't you have enough of that? And sure, you can believe, oh no, this has to be done because those others, they're doing things wrong and it's corrupt and it's okay, cool, fantastic. Occupy yourself with that. Occupy your mind with that. I'm sure it's going very, very, very well for you. Occupy your mind with that.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, there would be people if like a building were burning down and they were on the upstairs floor and we said, "Okay, how do we get out of this building safely? It's on fire. What do we do? Do we go? What about the true church? What about Eastern Orthodox? Look at this doctrine right here. How can you?" We'd be like, "Can we focus on like getting out of the burning building first, and then what is this truth? How can you not care about such a? There's a building that's literally about to burn down and kill us all.
But just don't go. Just don't go with the Catholic way.
Get outside first. Well, first you have to renounce Catholicism, or I will hold you here and make you burn."
No, just no matter how you get out, just don't ask Mary, otherwise you will burn up. You have to find the right way. What's wrong with you? He's sick.
You don't know anything about religion.
Mirek Zawada, but Islam has been long considered to be a Christian heresy. They try to believe in God of Abraham, but are missing his true identity, like Jews are. There were early perspectives that considered Islam a heresy of Christianity. Most prominently, John of Damascus. That was him, right? Who wrote about Islam as a heresy of Christianity. That said, that's a quite old perspective, and it's not really comparable to Judaism at all, in my opinion. Yeah. Razor's Edge Shaving. What's up, Razor's Edge Shaving? Mirek Zawada, in a sense, we could agree with Catechism. Alhamdulillah. Coconut Lover, add his name, Adnan Rashid. He went to Africa with a suitcase full of Qurans and converted an entire village starving. That's powerful, man. That's powerful. He saved their lives. And then they died. That's good. Ayatollah Khamenei, fellas, you should start utilizing testosterone replacement therapy and lifting weights every day. Tea is great for your state of mind. Okay, doing it right now. James Darmody, do you Jewish idol worship the true God, David? Oh, I see in your face.
Jewish idols worship the true God.
Why do you worship Jewish
we
idols?
ask Nick Fuentes?
Why do you worship Jewish idols, David? What's wrong with you?
David, you go, you filthy.
Man. Aleris Verus, I too visited Tel Aviv and they kidnapped me and sacrificed me for Purim. Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I believe you immediately.
Yeah, it sucks. That just brought back memories. I remember when they chopped me up and used my blood in their matzah crackers.
Yeah.
It sucked.
I just remember they invited me over for Sabbath, and I thought, hey, yeah, that's awesome. But then they actually they chopped up my hand and used it for cooking for the Sabbath dinner, which was kind of
And they
weird.
said, we're only using your hand because you're not a Christian.
Joseph
Christian, we would
King.
use your head.
Joseph King, I find it hilarious that all of them want to come to the developed world to flee war, yet the moment they do, all they do is bash everything around them. That's what they do. Oh, come on, I don't have my sounds with me. It's terrible. I don't have my soundboard here. I wanted to play That's What They Do. Anyway, next time. Sketch Therapy, new slogan. Momo is a chomo. He wrote the Quran. Good. That's good. Use it. Utilize it. Just an hour ago, there was 16 super chats left, and now there are still 16 super chats left. AP, would you be down to debate Amru Fadl? I'm pretty sure that Amru Fadl is not interested in debating. Why would I want to? I'm happy to debate Amru Fadl, but Amru Fadl is busy just having his channel where he just invites OnlyFans models on it and humiliates them, and calls himself Myron Gaines because he's embarrassed with his name Amru Fadl. But sure, I'm open to it. Arctic Based, I recently put up my Wingerling shirt and got spat on. You see, this is the proof. Well, you shouldn't be walking around with a Wingerling shirt.
Well, you shouldn't have come around me then with that shirt on.
Christian, Killian, David, either you watching The Chosen? Good show. Why do you say David and then you say either of you? Are there two Davids here?
I've never seen 1 second of it.
I did see it, and it did get me going. Like the first 2 seasons or so. I don't know where I stopped. At some point, it started getting a little bit weird. Overall, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Aisha's goat. If you were a Muslim, would you choose a goat or a beardless boy? If you were a Muslim, would you choose a goat or a beardless boy? This is a difficult question. Depends on what I am.
What about a beardless goat?
What about a beardless goy? Jack Gray, AP. Oh no, I've said too much. I said enough. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. Finding my religion.
Like finding my religion.
Instead of losing my religion. Based. Christina said, what's the game plan for 2025? Well,
Eat your
first,
enemies.
Lots of eating, then lots of drinking, lots of sleeping, and then anything else you can think of, basically, I would say. Other than that,
Multiple big things happening. Multiple big things happening in 2025. Got to decide which one you want to set off during Ramadan. Right now, I'm in favor of roughly halfway through Ramadan, kicking off a huge Islamic dilemma project. Since I posted a video a couple days ago, and there were lots of people who seemed interested in learning the Islamic dilemma. So maybe we knock out a big old video series this year.
I got things recorded and ready to be pushed out there. Doing that. Still have a bunch of other things in the planning. I'm going to be attending a conference for the first time in my life, where I will probably be speaking.
Nerd.
And stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff coming. 2025 is going to be a bad year for Islam.
Don't get scared, AP. Don't get scared while you're standing on stage in front of people.
They should be scared.
Not a good time to get scared.
They should be scared of me. Timothy Freeman, prots here talking smack about the one true faith, or purely talking about out of their our soul. The Catholic Church is the only church funded by Christ. Cross, Virginia, heart-based. See, got people fighting here.
Did you not hear one word AP just said, Timothy?
Boris Dana said, AP, you should play Bayonetta. It's very halal. I've heard of that game. Haven't played it, though. Cam, Christians need to focus on
You
Islam,
don't
not
play
each
the
other.
game. The
Yes.
game plays you.
You don't, yeah, that's true. That's true. Finally, Queen Hyena finally got here for a life, watching from the Caribbean, left UK 4 years ago.
Smart.
This laugh is making me crave bacon. Thanks for being fabulous. Thank you. Thank you.
Just be careful. Eat as much as you can during Ramadan.
Yeah, powerful. But good to have you here, Queen Hyena, and have fun in the Caribbean, wherever that you are. Luke Lang, thank you both for the advice. Please pray that I'm able to do it. Also, I think I would be the first Lutheran on YouTube to do Islamic polemics fun stuff. Would you be? I don't think so, actually.
Did Lutheran Satire do anything on Islam?
Who's Lutheran Satire?
You don't remember the Horus video? 'Tis I, Horus.
No.
Horus Ruins Christmas. Classic, man.
No, I don't. I've never seen a single thing from a channel called Lutheran Satire. I think you wouldn't be the first, but you would be a good one. You should do it. Veritas, TBF, Pallies are retarded.
But the Pallies.
That's not what it says. To
Oh,
be
the
frank, Pallies are
Pallies.
related. Related to the ancient Israelite and Canaanite population. More than most Jews, bar Iraqis, like Turks with Greeks, they're confused Jews. I would say that is a very, very, very contested point to make. You have graphs in which you can see a consistent proximity of Jewish DNA together to the Levant, whereas with the Palestinians you see an overlap with Arab populations and so on. I just don't pay any attention to the genetic aspect of things at all. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. John the Presbyter says, Jews in Tel Aviv beat me with a dreidel in a sock. If you don't believe me, just ask me. Joshua Stubblefield, Chris from Speaker's Corner had a video of a British ex-Muslim man who left Islam after 9 years. Worth checking out sometimes. Really shows a change in his mindset when and after he was a Muslim.
Yeah, there are longer videos. I only saw a few seconds of that, but yep, I've seen some videos about the guy circulating.
That's what they do.
You might have to check it out.
Sketch therapy with Billy Carson. You reacted to a theory that ended up being ridiculous. It was great. I think if you react to Isbal Allah video, it may wind up as plausible. I see many videos in this. Check Christ overall. It's in your face, David. That's what you get. Goshi Peters, we became a member. Welcome to the cult. Casper made a super sticker. Thank you so much. Rebecca Borg said, in my opinion, if Pmo had received professional therapy for possibly OCD, epilepsy, PTSD, he may have yet been a reasonable leader. In my opinion, many follow teachings of a man who was wrongly guided by his own brain. I think there was always a different solution. He tried it, but then he didn't do it because he was scared. But then I don't know. It's in his time there was always a room. There was always a room for crazy people to start a religion, and he just did it. You know. Yeah, somebody should have taken him out for dinner. Mike Wonger, David Wood, and AP. Would you be willing to live stream a Ram It Down iftar dinner? Yes, totally.
Yeah, we'll have it at my favorite buffet. Celebrating our fast.
Big Rig, I'm confused how simply changing the 12 window in which you eat means you're fasting. In the military, we just call that night shift. I know it's ridiculous.
That's the issue. That's the issue. What they mean by fasting is what most of the world's population has always done, right? Like people depending on, let's say 3 times a day and so on, but you eat breakfast in the morning when you wake up, and then you have dinner, let's say 5, 6, something like that. So 6 o'clock. And then what? It's about 12 hours till breakfast. So what are you doing? Oh, according to them, you're fasting. That's basically Ramadan fasting. You just switch your schedule.
Yeah.
No, guys, I'm probably on Monday. I'll post a video. I'm going to call the video why I'm fasting for Ramadan, even though I'm a Christian. And the video will be about me. Since I stay up nights with my son, my last meal is around 5 a.m. And then for the first time I eat is probably like 6 or 7 in the evening. What's that mean? I'm Ramadan fasting. It's normal life for me. It just doesn't occur to me to say, hey, everyone, look, I'm fasting.
Hey, David. We should get together and record a video that's going to be titled "We Tried Ramadan Fasting." And this is what happened.
Oh yeah, here's what happened.
We'll just actually go through it, and then in the end of the evening, we will just gorge ourselves with the gigantic food.
Hey, it's too late for this Ramadan, but let's plan it for next Ramadan. We got to get it all shredded right before we start and gain 40 pounds, gorging ourselves every day.
We should totally do this, man. We should totally do this. Like a gigantic meal at the end, and then have our thoughts about it. Timothy Freeman Doura sent my anti-prot super chat hate message minutes before AP said his heartfelt speech about Christian unity. He's right. I apologize.
Seriously, Timothy? Do you think there's a place for let's just change the subject to your apologies? Seriously? Did you not hear a word he said about focusing on what's most important?
Powerful. Thank you, Timothy. I appreciate that very, very, very much. Good sentiments. Jack Ray, Fast and Furious Ramadan Bombathon. All right, man. David, are we doing something tomorrow?
Yeah. I'll be we'll be driving home all day, but yeah, we'll be back in time. We'll be live tomorrow night. It'll be dope. It'll be epic.
I might not be available tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a little problematic.
Okay.
I might not be available tomorrow night.
Then we'll skip it. We'll just do Saturdays on AP's channel.
You should do something. I'll let you know. I'll see what happens. Inshallah.
AP will be at iftar.
Yeah. David Pleasance. David Pleasance says, I conceal carry precisely because I reserve the right to shoot Sharia in the face. By the way, Seattle was beautiful today. Powerful. Sketch Therapy says, if Baal is Allah is not the God of Abraham, maybe an archaeological literal case for this info on apologetics, but you two smarter than me, so I want your opinion. Powerful. I made a video about whether Jews and Christians, or whether Muslims worship the same God as Jews and Christians do, and I didn't really go into the whole direction of the pre-Islamic polytheism, but rather into a different direction. But yeah, I have my take on that. Alhamdulillah, always something to work on. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We shall return quite soon. And until the next time, until the next episode, as always, and for those who do not speak goat, hear it from the goat himself.
Stay away from Islam.